How's it going, guys? It is the Peruvian Trucker back with another video, coming at you from the Decatur terminal here in Indiana. And I'm here by chance, not by choice. I wasn't actually aware that this terminal existed. It's more on par with the Manuka terminal, if I'm honest, but it has everything you need, which is a place to park, a place to shower. And that's it. There's a Walmart literally across the street though, so it's pretty great. But anyway, you read the title of the video, so today we're going to talk about claims. But before I get started, I wanted to give a huge thanks to all of you guys that commented on my last couple of videos. First, thank you very much for all the music and podcast suggestions. I have a long drive ahead of me, so I'm going to have a good opportunity to do some music exploration. I also want to thank everybody that commented on my last video regarding the fairing getting damaged. As you saw in the intro, it was a pretty easy fix. Just took off the hold downs or anchors for the plastic trim or fairing, popped it back in place, and then bolted it down. Pretty easy, and I was very happy about that. But anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. So, cargo claims. There's been a couple of videos recently on cargo claims on other Prime YouTube channels. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm here in the Decatur terminal by accident because of a cargo claim. And as I started recording this video, I realized that I have now been through every type of cargo claim that there is. So I thought it was a good opportunity to discuss them, talk about my experience with cargo claims as a lease operator. And that's how this video came to be, or is coming to be. So there are three types of cargo claims with Prime. You can have an overage, a shortage, or damage to your cargo. And the process of filing the claim is pretty straightforward. It's very similar amongst all three of the claims with some minor changes. And well, also major, I guess, for damage and overage claims. But let's start with the simplest one, a shortage. So when it comes to a shortage, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just an easy example, you're taking a load from your shipper to your receiver. Receiver is expecting 10 pallets, but there's only 9 on the trailer. Now, load will go as usual. You will take the load all the way from the shipper to the receiver. You will get unloaded as usual, but then when you get your bills handed back to you at the receiver, there will be some added notes on the bills or some extra documentation when it comes to their count, their product count, and how much they were short. And you take that information, you take a picture of your bills, you submit that as a claim on the Prime app, and then you proceed to contact the claims department. It's a pretty seamless process. They'll just take all the information that you have, maybe ask for some extra information if it's not documented on the bills, and once that process is complete, you will get a reference number for your records that your dispatch may ask for you in the future, and you complete your load after that. You submit your documents and you're pretty much ready to move to your next load after that. And that's pretty much how you deal with a shortage. Now, when it comes to an overage, it's a little bit different. Basically, everything leading up to getting to your receiver is pretty much the same. You get loaded just the same, you take the load just the same, you're waiting to get unloaded at your receiver. You will get handed your bills, and same thing as with a shortage. There'll be some documentation on the bills or notes explaining that there was an overage, that there's more product in the trailer than what they were expecting, and that some of it was rejected for that reason. So in this case, you will proceed to go to the back of the trailer, take pictures of the product that's still on the trailer, make sure that the reefer is still on so that product doesn't get damaged, and then again you take pictures of the product, take pictures of the bills with the notes, and upload that to the Prime app to file the claim. And then you proceed to contact the claims department. Same thing as with the shortage. The claims representative will walk you through the process. They'll ask for some information on the bills. And because there's still product on the trailer, they're going to have to get a hold of the shipper to figure out what the shipper wants to do with the product. In some situations, you may have to sit tight and wait for claims to get a hold of the shipper. If the delivery was at like an odd hour, maybe at 2-3 in the morning, and the shipper is not available for communication at the time, maybe their offices are closed and they don't open until standard business hours, you're going to have to sit tight with your reefer running, waiting for claims to get a hold of the client or shipper and figure out what they're going to do. Now, when claims gets a hold of the shipper or client, the client will decide how they want to deal with the overage. Some shippers may request for the shipment or the product to be brought back to their facility or to one of their facilities, but it happens often that it's such a little amount or so little product that's left on the trailer that it's really not worth it's not worth it for the shipper to go through the hassle of getting it back. So claims or the shipper will try to contact maybe a facility near where the driver is located to maybe donate that product and dispose of it in that way, more financially or more in a more efficient way for the client, I guess. And that's pretty much it when it comes to overages. Again, you just gather your documents, submit the information for the claim, get a hold of the claims department, and then just wait for the claims department to contact the shipper for them to decide whether you gotta take the product back or wait for someone else to pick it up. Now, it's worth mentioning that, of course, if they request for you to take the product back, you do get paid for taking the product back. But again, that's how overages or overage claims work. I'm not going to get into the reasons why product might get damaged, but it all comes down to the fact that if product gets damaged, it's more than likely going to get rejected. And in that sense, it's kind of similar to what happens with an overage claim, because you got to keep your reefer on, and you have to document all the information, take pictures of the items that were damaged, take pictures of the notes on the bills, and contact the claims department once you've submitted the information so they can get a hold of the shipper or client to figure out how they want to dispose of the damaged product. It's also similar to the overages in the sense that you will have to wait for an answer from the shipper when it comes to what's going to happen with the product. And that's pretty much it. I've had all three of those scenarios happen to me. When it comes to shortage, it's just as I described. I took a picture of my bills of lading, submitted it through a claim on the Prime app, and dealt with the claims department and moved to my next load fairly quickly. Overages and damages were different. When it comes to the overage, I had to sit, thankfully, really close to my receiver while claims contacted. I was either claims or the client contacted, I believe it was an orphanage near the place where I was at in New Jersey that came and picked up the product. It was one full pallet of chicken breast. And they picked it up and they gave me a receipt for that donation. Now, when it comes to overages, I don't know if me personally, like the driver, is able to keep some of the product. I didn't at that time, and I haven't had the opportunity since. But I don't even know if that's allowed or accepted. But I haven't thus far. But yeah, so for that claim, I had to wait for a representative from that orphanage to come. They came with a van. We opened the pallet and just unloaded all the product. He loaded all the boxes in this truck and drove away. And then again, the third one, which is the damage, it was different. I was carrying a pallet of, well, multiple pallets of what Tyson calls combos, which for my understanding is basically, just big like bags of processed meat, I guess. What happened with that product is that two of the pallets were shifted and one of them had product leaked out of it, so they rejected two pallets. Like I mentioned, I filed my claim just as I explained, took pictures of the damage, took pictures of the bills, contacted the claims department. The claims department reached to Tyson, and then they reached back to me. They needed me to deliver the load. They needed me to take the product to one of their Tyson facilities near my delivery address, but they needed that to be done by a certain time, and I was out of hours, so I wasn't going to be able to make it. Which is why the claims department asked me to just bring the trailer to this terminal here in Decatur or Decatur, Indiana. Again, I wasn't aware of this facility, but it just worked out great because it's a great place to just reset, or at least that was my plan. I was going to take a 34-hour reset here because I've just been running hard. But I got proposed this load that is going from Indiana to California. It's a 2-stop load, another Tyson load. Now, I usually wouldn't take this load because winter, but the weather is looking really nice, and I have some personal stuff that I've been wanting to pick up for the longest time in Salt Lake City, and this load would route me through it. So we will continue our adventures on the next video, and we will take the load all the way through. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you so much for the comments and the support, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good one. So I'm at the deli at Walmart just getting some ham and cheese, and the deli guy looks at me and he's like, "Hey man, you know, yesterday was 69 days till 420. And it suddenly hit me how people perceive me with this look.